I'm Darshan Prajapati. Welcome to my complete n8n automation course that is from beginner to advanced. If you have ever wanted to automate tasks, connect apps, or build your own workflows, this course is for you. In this series, we'll start from the very basics, understanding what n8n is, how to install it, and how to create your first workflow. Not only that, but you will learn how to use triggers, set nodes, manage data, how to handle APIs, and how to connect tools like Google Sheets, Telegram, or OpenAI without writing complex code. Is it interesting, right? Then we will move to the advanced section where things get really exciting. You will explore complex data flows, sub workflows, advanced technical nodes, error handling, file operations, and even learn how to build your own mini AI agents using n8n. On top of that, every concept is explained step by step with live demos and real world use cases. So by the end of this course, you will be ready to automate almost anything that is from personal productivity to business systems. Whether you are a student, developer, freelancer, or entrepreneur, this course will help you save time, boost efficiency, and unleash the power of automation. So enroll now and let's start building your automation superpower with n8n. I'll see you inside the course.
Welcome to this tutorial. Today we are going to dive into one of the most exciting topics, that is no code and automation using n8n. If you have ever wanted to make your apps talk to each other automatically without writing a single line of code, this is the tool for you. In this complete beginner tutorial, I will explain everything: what automation is, why we need it, its core concept, and how it actually works. So, here is the introduction to automation. Automation simply means performing repetitive tasks automatically without human intervention. Think about things you do daily: sending follow up emails, updating sheets, or posting updates. Now imagine if all this could happen on their own. That's the power of automation. In today's fast paced world, automation helps us to save time, reduce human error, and improve accuracy. And with platforms like n8n, you don't need coding skills, just logic and creativity. So here in this tutorial, we will going to discuss about why do we need automation, what actually the automation is, it core concepts of automation, what is a workflow, and some best practices of automation. So first, why do we need automation? So why do we need automation? Well, because manual work wastes time and resources. Let's say you are a small business owner or a student managing multiple tools like Google Sheets, Gmail, Slack, etc. Without automation, you will spend hours doing boring tasks, copying data, sending reminders, and checking updates. But with automation, all this happens instantly. It allows us to focus on decision making, creativity, and growth instead of wasting time on repetitive stuff. Simply, but automation makes our workflow faster, smarter, and less stressful. So, first thing of automation is data driven decision. As we know that most people make decision based on feelings or their intuitions, but that's a subjective concept. It's hard to measure and often leads to wrong or biased, that is prejudiced choices. On the other hand, data driven decisions rely on facts and logic. They are measurable, objective, and transparent. Automation ensures your data is collected, processed, and used in a right way, improving accuracy and protecting data privacy. In short, automation converts your business from feeling based to database. Also, it requires a very less resources, that is human effort, budget, that is cost, and also your valuable time. And also, it helps to improve reporting plus visibility on return on investment. On the other hand, manual manual task needs a lot of resources, budget, your valuable time, and that sometimes lead to a waste of resources. So automation, that is the key to being data driven. First of all, manual tasks often cause wastage of time, human error. As we know that if something is done by humans, so the mistakes or error that is almost expectable. So also it generates to very low value. Also it requires a high human resources and its requirements. Also the human or the individual who is performing certain tasks, they might feel exhaust or fatigue, or they suffer from fatigueness. So that's why they generate a low employee happiness and retention. On the other hand, if something is done automatically, so everything becomes predictable. Also, there is smooth data availability, like you have a better data availability, your data flows very smoothly between apps. Also it increased employee efficiency, that is there is a less chance of mistakes. Also it focus efforts on higher value tasks, and as a result or eventually it gives much higher return on investment. So now we will see what is automation. Let's define automation in simple terms. That is, automation means creating a set of steps that run automatically based on certain conditions or triggers. So right now, here I have used a lot of hard words, but make sure you sit till the end of the video and you will going to be understand what this terminology means. For example, when a customer submits a form on your website, their details automatically go into a Google Sheet. An email is sent to them and a manager gets notified, all without you touching anything. That's automation at work. Let's see the definition of automation: a predictable set of predetermined action that transfer data from one point to another. It might contains a lot of terms that might you not get understand at first. So basically, it is a predictable set that is, as we already said, that the things are very predictable because it follow a fixed path every single time, and predetermined because you set the rule once and it runs automatically. Predetermined action, that is, you have already given a certain pattern or algorithm to the automation tool so that it perform the task on a repetitive mode, and it will transfer your data from one point to another based on certain criteria and conditions. For example, in n8n you can set a trigger, like when a form is submitted, then define what happens next, whether it goes to a Google Sheet, an email sequence, or directly to a manager. So here is one example, that suppose a user fills out a contact form on your website, then he or she will submit the form, that is the form submission. Then it will go to what kind of company it is. Then if they will check that there is no data for any company, then ignore it. If it is has a very low value, then add to email sequence. If it has high value, then add to Google Sheet. And if it is a very ideal customer or genuine, or we can say a premium customer, then give it to account manager as soon as possible. So generally, what kind of company is our trigger? No company, low value, high value, ideal customer. This arrow, or this, or we can say the flow chart, is our filter data, and then we will generate certain outcomes. So these are our actions that also we are going to discuss its terminology later on. Now we will see some core concepts of automation. Now let's move into the heart of n8n. This is the heart of n8n. There are generally four key parts you must understand. First is trigger, which decides when your workflow starts, on what criteria, or on which pattern your workflow will going to start, what actually there it is in the workflow that will let your automation works. Then second is filter, which control which data passes through. Then third is action, defines what tasks should be done. And fourth is mapping, it will connect from one step to the next. So let begins. First is trigger. Trigger are starting points of an automation workflow in an n8n. They define when and how a workflow should begin running. So basically, in previous example, here we see a form submission. So it is our trigger that if a user fill a form based on certain feedback or any school or college registration form for any event or sports tournament, when the user submit the form, then the form submission is our trigger. Then our workflow will start and then they will move to other criteria for checking. So then here there are certain types of trigger. First is manual trigger, which activate by the user manually, used mainly for testing or one-time execution, like click execute for flow in n8n editor that we will going to discuss in later videos. Second is scheduled trigger, that is also known as cron. So it runs automatically at specific time intervals. For example, every day at 9 a.m., like every day at 9 a.m. My workflow will start automatically running. Then also we can set in on every hour or an every Monday. That is, we should have to fix our time for a trigger to start running. Then it's ideal for routine tasks like daily reports or to generate backups on certain apps like WhatsApp and all. And third is application trigger. Here we can also have application or webhook or event which triggered by external apps or service which required another application, that is the third application or the third party will involve here. For example, Slack trigger, Gmail trigger or webhook trigger, which perform based on their significance and also based on the action of the trigger. Then our second thing is filtering. Filtering is used to allow or block certain types of data from following a path based on certain conditions. So filter helps you to define rules. For example, only continue the workflow if the company name equals, for example, let's say ABC Private Limited, or if the email address contains like xyz@gmail.com. It's like a checkpoint that ensures only the right data moves forward, keeping your automation clean and efficient. In the previous example, what kind of company, that is our filter. Like if the company has no company, like uh, there is no any data of any company, then we have to ignore it. Then if has low value, then you have to move to this tab, or high value then this tab. If it is ideal customer, then if we have to send it to the account manager instantly right away. So this is the work of filter. Then there are action. Action are the task or operation performed after a trigger in an n8n workflow. This is the following sequence or part of uh, a trigger and filter. So it requires certain application which helps actions like Google Sheet, which update rows when there are certain modification in the rows. Then create sheet or get or fetch the spreadsheet. Then we can in Dropbox application we upload, or we can get our file, or we can download it, or we can create it. In Slack we get the data of user, we send a message or we get the message also in Salesforce. These are the some applications which works based on the action part of the workflow. Then we will see what is a workflow and how it really works. So basically, one thing here I would like to tell that triggers, filters, and actions. When just that we already discussed, when the all the three things come into contact, then it calls a workflow. It is like a chain of connected nodes, each performing a specific job. It might start with a trigger, then it filter data, and then finally perform some actions based on the sorting and transforming of the data in the filter section. For example, if the form is submitted, check if the company is valid or not. If yes, then update the sheet, send confirmation email, and notify the team. That is one complete workflow. In this example, we will see that sometimes every day at 8 a.m. and when this happen, or when this thing get launched in the market, or if the deployment uh, has been done on certain products. And so these are the triggers. These three here I told you some examples of trigger or some conditions that what actually defines the trigger. Then it comes our sorting, filtering, formatting, transforming and segmenting based on the particular criteria. So it generally means the filter. This is all the things are covering in a filter section. So if this, then like when we see that if this is happen, if sorry, if this is present, then this thing will generate, like if 10 people would be there, then they will get certain percent of discount. So these are the things which filter offers. Then also it modified, like change x to y. If these people are like if family, if this number of families has income over 1 lakh, then call them rich family or above class families. So these are the example of it. And then action based on that, when the trigger start, it filter out some data based on our conditions, and then it generate actions like update a Google sheet if this number of row has been added after some time, or if this number of employees has present, then send an email to them. If a new member has added, then notify that person, or also notify the manager that someone has come to fulfill the vacancy. Then we will see how uh, there are some best practices for automation, that how the automation work. Now before you start creating your own workflows, here are some best practices that you should follow. First thing is, keep your workflow simple and clear. Second, always test with sample data first. Then use descriptive names for nodes and variables. Fourth, add filters and errors checks to avoid unwanted results. And the last but not least, document your workflow for future reference. Then following these small steps will help you avoid confusion and make your automation reliable. Now we will move to the most important part, and that is mapping. Mapping is the first step to any good automation. Like, mapping means passing data from one node to another. That is the like creating a flow or a map. So, for example, when you get an email address from Google Sheets, you can map that email directly into the Gmail node to send messages automatically. It basically connecting the output of one step with the input of another, allowing smooth data flow between your applications. So here how mapping actually works. So by using a flow chart, like list every different part of a process as a block. Here we see form submission, what kind of company, then all the rectangular rectangular structures. These all are blocks, and we separate them or link them with the help of arrows that have each and every block, that is the our rectangular structure or shape, how they interact with each other. So this was the basic of the n8n no code automation workflow. So we covered everything from the basic of automation to trigger, filter, action, workflow, and mapping. In the next part, we will discuss webhook and APIs. These are the two most important notion of the n8n. So thank you, and we will see you in the next video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the automation series. In the last video, we explored the basics of automation, that is, what automation means, why it's needed, and how it helps in reducing manual work. Now, in this video, we are going to step into one of the most important parts of automation. Its two main notions, and they are APIs and webhooks. And we will understand how systems actually talk to each other behind the scene. So, here in this video, we are going to discuss about what is an API, its definition and its components, and what is the meaning of webhooks. So, what is an API? Let's start with the term API, which stands for Application Programming Interface. In simple word, it's like a messenger that helps two different software systems communicate with each other. To make it easy to understand, let's take a restaurant example. So here, how do you get food? So whenever you go into the restaurant, you ask the waiter for the food. He will go into the kitchen by taking your order, and he will come back with the response that he will bring your ordered food or meal. So here we will understand what is the actual definition of uh, API. So here, an API, application programming interface, exposes a service. Developers write programs to consume it. So when we say API exposes service, it means that API offers certain features or data that other programs can use, and developers or programmers create software that asks the API for that data or feature and uses it in their app. So let's understand in a technical term. So basically, here when you give orders, so in between there is a channel. Here in our example, it was a waiter, but in technical term, it is a interface, and it goes to the application. Here, our application was kitchen. So basically, interface generally takes your response and request, and and basically the interface that take your request to the application and bring back a response for your query. So so why we use API? Because without an API, your program would need to know how other program works internally, which is hard and messy. And with the help of API, you just follow simple instructions. So that is the documentation to get what you need. So you don't need to care about the inner workings. The API handles it for you. In our example, we use the menu that act as our documentation. That is our guide. So we can get the idea of how an API actually works. So now we will move further, and we will going to understand what the technical terms of the API. So here, when I say the client, so client is basically the user which send a request to the interface or the server. So here our interface and applications are the server which accept the request and bring back the response. So, and now we are going to understand what are the concept of request. So there are majorly four components to an HTTP request. So these are URL, method, header, and body. So we will going to understand them very deeply. So first of all, URL, so uniform resource locator. It is the unique location for resource on the web, like for page, image, PDF, etc. So here in this example, https colon slash slash, as we see that here we have created a separate part so we can understand it easily. So here first part is the scheme. So it tells the browser which protocol to use. Usually http or https are the most utilized. So then www.google.com, this is the host or domain name. It points to the server where the resource lives. Then .443, this is the port. Then this is the optional part. So and if it is not mentioned, then the browser uses the default ports like 80 for HTTP or 443 for HTTPS. Then comes our slash search. This is the path, or we can say endpoint. It points to a specific resource on the server. Then comes our the last part, and that is the query parameters. They pass additional information to the server, like what to search for in this case. So every URL has these parts that together tell your browser exactly where to go and what to request. Then second is method. So method defines what you want to do. So there are basically it's for part: get, which retrieve your data; post, which sends your data; put or patch, which update or modify your data; delete, that remove your data. For example, we use post to send data to an API endpoint. Then it comes header. Header contains key value pairs which send to the server with the request. So basically header contains extra information like content type or authentication. So then here come our body and the final part, credentials. So body is the actual data you send. Mostly we send into the post or put. So basically, for example, my name, that is Darshan, and my email, that is darshan at the rate example.com. So it basically work in that way. And finally, this is our credentials. So credentials stores secure authentication details that in our case in n8n. So here there are its certain types like API key, basic AUTH, that is basic auth, OAuth to 2, etc. These are some its type, and it's prevent generally hard coding sensitive information in workflows. For example, we connecting to Slack or Jira API securely, because in n8n, so in order to create some workflows, we need to connect our Slack to use the Slack bot or Jira. So this API key and basic auth and OAuth2, these credentials help to secure our data and other information like ID and all. Then it comes our next part, that is components of a response. After sending a request, the server processes it and send back as a response with three main parts. First is status code, header, and body. First of all, we will understand what is status code. So it indicates the result of the request, that is whether it is has succeeded or failed. For example, if it showed 200, then it's success; 400, then it's a bad request; 401, that we sometimes see in our mobile phone, or when we you open any website, 401. So it means that it's an unauthorized website or the request. Then 500, it simply means that it is a server's error. Then it comes header. So header includes information like content type or server name and server info. So and the final thing is body, the actual data returned from server. Usually it is in a JSON format. Here we can see an example. Then we will see what is the webhook. Generally, it is the inverse of API, like vice versa. So uh, in well, let's see its definition. So webhook is a way for one application to send real-time data to another when an event occurs. So simply a webhook is a way, uh, um, it's an event, basically webhook is a event based function, which means that you don't have to request data, it pushed you to do instantly. Think of it like in API you ask for updates, that's called pulling. In webhooks, data comes to you automatically when an event occurs. That is the pushing. Let's take a real world example. That imagine you have created a Google form. Every time you someone submits the form, a webhooks that sends that data immediately to n8n, and n8n can then automatically save it to a database or send a message on Slack. And all these things happen without any manual function. So basically API, you request data, and webhook data is sent automatically to you. Okay, so let's see how API and webhooks power automation works. So basically, I will show you what is the webhook and how it looks. Here we will type for webhook and we will click on this, and here it generates the generate its this panel. So here we can see test URL, that is our URL, and this is basically my URL. So here we can see our all the request and response will generate. So in this format, our request will be go and it comes back with another help of the another application like Slack, so it generates the response. So it is the way these things actually work. So thank you for the video. In next video we will see how to create n8n account, which is the most important and I think the first step for the practical approach. And also we will see what is a node. Welcome back to this tutorial. In the last video we talked about what APIs are and how webhooks actually work in automation. And in today's videos, I'm going to take you one step further by showing you how to create your own account on n8n. So let's jump straight in. First of all, we have to open our browser and we have to type n8n.io. Okay, so we will do. Then we have to click on sign up option. So we have to find the sign up option and then we have to enter our details, and then we have to accept the term and privacy policy, that is the checkbox that we have to agree. Then we have to verify our email, that is through your mobile phone or your mail inbox, where we have to click on the verification that would be sent by n8n. Then we have to log into n8n, we have to use our verified email and password to log in. Then we can access our dashboard after login, where we can see our n8n workflow dashboard will be ready to use. So let's do that. First of all, open the web browser whichever you are using. Then here you have to type n8n.io. Then here you can see the main link. So you have to click on it. Here we will see the get started option. If you already have the account, then you can use sign in option. Here I am a totally new, so I will click on get started. You see the panel like this. Here I will give my full name, company email, gmail.com. Now I will confirm it. Here I have to create a password. You can create based on your preference. Here I will create my account name, that would be n8n user 30. Now here I have to click the checkbox to agree the terms and conditions. Now start free 14 days trial. Here they provide you 14-day free trials, so you can create whatever number of workflows you want to create within 14 days. Then you have to move to the paid version. So what is the size of your company? Here I will select only me. Then next, you have to answer some questions here. What team are you on? IT. What best describes your company? uh, Automation agency. I will select it. You can select based on your preferences. Which of these do you feel comfortable doing? Mm, I will say configuring API authentication or setting up a webhook. How did you hear about n8n? I will select through mm, word of mouth. What apps do you use? I will select Slack, AI agent, HTTP request, Google Sheets, OpenAI. Then I will now continue. Even you can skip this. Here I have to here is start automating. So our account is created. Here you will see the plus sign. If it is visible, then congratulations, you have successfully in. So start from scratch. And here we see our add first step. So our automation workflows account is successfully created. So here I can search for any node like Slack and like on any event, and I here I can uh, complete all the details by fulfilling it, and then I can create it. We will see how to uh, fulfill these details in the panel, and then we will create our first workflow. Thank you. Hey everyone, welcome back to the n8n beginner course. In the previous session, we learned how to create an account in n8n to build our workflows. Now in this session, we are going to talk about one of the most fundamental concepts in n8n, that is node. If workflows are like living organisms, then nodes are the cell, the smallest building blocks that make everything work. So, what exactly is a node? A node in n8n is a single step or action in your workflow. Think of it as an instruction block. It tells n8n what to do next. For example, if you want to get new emails from Gmail, then you have to extract the subject line, then you have to send it to the Slack. Each of these steps, that is Gmail to transform to Slack, would be a separate node. And the Gmail transform Slack, this would be the title. The building block, that is the atom of n8n. Here it is work like that. You can connect them together to form bigger molecules, or in our case the workflows. Each node performs a specific job, fetching data, to transform the data or sending it elsewhere. There are three main categories of nodes in n8n. First is entry point, second in function, and third is exit point. So the entry point nodes, they start your workflow. For example, webhook trigger. When an API call it hits a URL. Cron node starts on a schedule. Then there is a manual trigger when you run the workflow manually. Think of this as the start button for your automation. Then comes function node. This handles the logic or transformation part. For example, a set node or a function node can format your data, it can add new fields, or it can apply certain filters or conditions. It's like the chef in your automation kitchen. It will take raw ingredients, that is your data, it will let it to the kitchen, that is your application, and then it will prepare the insights for you and it will serve to you. Then it comes exit point nodes. Finally, it send the data out of n8n, like sending a Slack message, writing data to Google Sheet, sending an email. These are like the delivery agents of your workflow. They ensure your final output reaches the right destination. Then there are different types of node. Beyond categories, nodes are also grouped by their purpose of or function. Trigger node, first of all, it starts the workflow automatically. For example, when a new form is submitted, then it will generate an action. Then comes action nodes that perform the task inside the application. For example, like create a new Trello card, or like transformation nodes, it will modify or clean your data. For example, merging of data, filtering fields, or changing the transforming the formats. Then flow nodes, it controls your how your workflow runs. For example, the condition like if else, wait, whether your data have to wait somewhere or merge. Then comes file nodes, it handle files like PDFs or CSVs. Then advanced node finally handle complex logic like HTTP request or code functions. Each of these nodes play a special role in making your automation smart and dynamic. So once your node is configured, you can execute it individual using the play button. So where you can see a play button usually in a panel, that is also called the open node in the settings. So here you can see execution option where you can simply is like a play button. So you can click it and you can execute the specific node. So first, as we discuss open node, where you can view or edit your node configurations, then execute node, then rename node, deactivate mode. This will work based on their names. Then pin node, where you can keep its output visible, then copy or duplicate. So you can reuse your configurations very quickly. Then delete node. These small actions make workflow management super smooth and flexible. Now there are certain parameters where you define what the node should do. For example, resource, the app or service like Gmail, Slack, or Google Sheet. Then there are operation, the specific task, they perform a specific task like sending message, then creating grow, then how to get or fetch the email. Then there are credentials, the credentials, that API key. So it's just like an ID and password. So you can uh, connect you one model to your node like OpenAI to your node, you to your workflow, so they can if you want to access the OpenAI, then you have to enter your API key. That also I will show you in the live demo later on. Here just understand that it's like a connector, like it connects your workflow to another application, so you can use their basic functionality or the platform. Then action settings, it adds extra details depending on the operations. So here I will show you the live demo of how to enter your node and how it basically works. So here is our screen, and here we will take a real world scenario. So for example, if I want to create an AI agent or a workflow related to AI where I can simply give a message or a prompt and they reply me back. And also in the later videos we will discuss that how to add certain its automations, more advanced features. Now right now we will discuss the basic function of nodes, that how to add the node and how to modify it and how it really works and how it generate the output. So let's get started. So first of all we will see the big plus sign, so we have to click to add the first step. Here we will select on chat message. Simply we have to click on back to canvas, The whole page is called a canvas where you can add or modify your node or where you will create your whole workflow. Then we'll click on this plus sign. Here I will go to AI and then I will select AI agent node. So here also I will keep it as it is, and I will click to back to canvas. Then now here I have to add a chat model. So here I will click on it. There are a lot of LLM models. Whatever you can use, there are Google Gemini, AWS Bedrock, DeepSeek. Here I will use the OpenAI chat model. Here one thing I would like to show that here you have to create a new credential. Here I have already created one. So here if you want to use a particular version of any chat model here for OpenAI, then you have to insert your API key. For that, you have to go to the particular website, and then you have to you log in into that AI model, and then you can see an option of API key, and so that you can access the version of that particular LLM model. So, and one thing you have to keep in mind that you have to keep your API ID very safe. You do not have to share it with anyone, because if you let someone know your API key, then they can misuse it and you have to pay for it. So here I have already n8n free API credits. So here the n8n platform provide you certain numbers of API credits, so you can use that here. Particularly in order to access this particular version, I select the 100 credits option. So that will also I will show you in the later. So now I will click on back to canvas. Now I will unchat. Then here I will simply type hello. It worked successfully and it replies me with hello. How can I assist you today? So this is the basic function of how node connect with each other with a different node, how to put conditions, and how actually we have to do some modifications based on our requirement. In the later videos we will create a full version of this AI chatbot. So for that, here one thing I would like to show you. This is the thing. Here you can see get 100 free open AI API credits. So you simply just have to click on claim credits. So it will automatically select the particular version available within the 100 API credits. So here they selected OpenAI 4.1 mini for me. So they can also select that particular for you, or they will use another one for you. So this was what the node it is, and how the fundamental thing it is. And with that, if you want to start to build workflow from the scratch, then nodes are the first thing that we have to keep in mind, and this is called the fundamental body or structure of the workflow or of n8n whole community. So in the later videos we will discuss some more properties related to n8n. So till then, thank you. Hey everyone, welcome back to my n8n automation series. In this tutorial, we are going to learn all about triggers in n8n. By the end of this video, we'll know how and when your workflow actually starts through manual, schedule, webhook, and app triggers. So basically, what is the trigger? So trigger simply decides when your workflow starts. It's the first step that tells n8n, hey, it's time to run his workflow. Without a trigger, nothing happens. So it's like pressing a start button before the automation takes off. Every workflow begins with one trigger and continues with actions that follow. Now we'll see what are the types of triggers. So basically there are four main types of triggers in n8n. First is manual trigger that is used for testing. Second, schedule trigger for time-based automation. Then webhook trigger for receiving external data. Application trigger for events coming from connected apps like Google Sheets or Gmail. Let's check each one practically. So first of all, manual trigger. Manual trigger generally It's exactly what it sounds like. The workflow only runs when you manually click execute workflow. It's commonly used during the development or testing phase, so you can check your steps and debug without automating just yet. Think of it as your workflow's play button. You are in full control. Let's take an example of manual trigger in our n8n website. Simply, you have to open this page. Now we will click on the big this symbol of plus. Here I will search for the manual trigger. Now here I will click on plus. I will add another node, that is set node. Here I will click on add field value. Here I will say message. Here value. Now I will execute this step. Here it say node executed successfully. So here I will check that here I'm showing that manual execution done successfully. It means our manual flow runs completely. Now we will see schedule trigger. So for that we will move back to our PPT. Okay, so now we will see what is schedule trigger. So if you want your workflow to run every minute daily at 9 a.m. or every Monday, you can do that using cron expressions for custom timing. That would be perfect for regular reports, reminders, or syncing data on a set schedule. So now we will see how it will done practically. Now we will again click on this plus sign again here. Now we will add another node, that is schedule trigger. Here I will choose trigger interval in minutes and the gap would be of 1 minute. Now I will go back to canvas, add again set node. Here I will add a message value. Okay, now I will execute it. So here again, one node executed successfully. We will wait for 1 minute and we will again check it that whether our execution had run completely or not. For that, we will click on execution. So here we can see our node has run successfully. We here at 10:46, 10:47, again 10:48, 10:49. Okay, so now we will see what is webhook trigger. So we will back to again PPT. So now we will see what is the webhook trigger. So this type of trigger starts a workflow when external data is sent to a webhook URL. Think of it like this: a form gets submitted or an external app sends data in BAM. Your workflow kicks off in real time. Webhooks are ideal for instant, real-time automation that react to events outside your system. Now we will see an example to showcase what actually webhook trigger is and how it works in workflows. So we will again move to the n8n canvas. Here we will click on the plus sign again. We will search for webhook trigger. We will copy this to test URL for testing of the webhook trigger. Now here we will click on set plus. We will search for this set node. Here we will give on again a message, and here we will give our value, that is webhook executed successfully. Now we will click on here and workflow was started. Now we can see our webhook executed successfully. So for that, you have to move to another browser tab. You have to copy that URL, sorry, paste that URL, and then you have to come back to the automation canvas. So you can see our webhook executed successfully. And now we will see what is the final, that is application trigger. And finally, the app trigger. These are events triggered by connected apps. For example, a new row is added in a Google Sheet, a new email arrives in Gmail, a new database entry in Notion. These all are the example of application trigger, and these all work with the help of the application trigger. So application usually require account authentication, so make sure your apps are connected properly. Okay, because it requires the connection of another application. So for that you have to make sure your account authentication is present. For that we will move to our canvas again. So here we will again click on the plus. Now here we will search for application that would be Google Sheet. Here we will click on row added. Now here we will click on our third account. If you want to create a new credential, you can click on here. You can sign in with Google and it will automatically save it. For now, I will use my email account. That is Google Sheet Trigger account 3, and here I will paste my document by URL. When you can select it from list or through ID. Now I will select the URL of sheet. So in this way you can create the four application trigger. So basically among all, the application trigger requires a lot of credentials, and it is also time consuming, but all the four triggers are very easy to create, and we will cover more topics in the upcoming videos. Till then, thank you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my n8n automation series. In the last video, we learned about triggers. That is how workflow starts automatically. But what happens after a trigger fires? That's what we are going to explore today. That is actions. By the end of this video, you will understand what actions are, the types of actions available, and how to create one using a live demo. So let's jump right into it. First of all, we will see what are actions. So what exactly are actions? Actions are simply the tasks that happen after a trigger occurs. They define what should happen next. For example, sending an email, updating a database, or posting a message to Slack. Every action in n8n is handled through a node. You will find nodes like email, Google Sheet, Slack, or even HTTP request. Each of these performs a specific type of task. For instance, imagine your trigger is a new form submission. It can be to send a confirmation email to that user. So in short, trigger is equal to when something happens and action is what to do next. Now we will understand what are the types of action. So basically there are mainly four types of actions. First is communication action, second data actions, third integration actions, and fourth utility action. Let's understand them. First of all, what is communication action? So this includes sending emails, messages, or notification. For example, you can automatically send a thank you email whenever someone likes a form. Second, data actions. This involves working with data, like adding, updating, or deleting records in a database or Google Sheet. Third is integration action. This connect different apps or platforms and transfer data between them, like sending leads from Google Forms to Airtable. Fourth is utility action. These perform helpful operations like adding delays, merging data, or perform calculations in your workflow. All these types help make your workflow smarter and more powerful, combining lets you automate almost anything you can imagine. So basically, this was the theory portion of the action. So this can let you know the terminology of actions and its types and how it actually works. So now in the live demo, we're going to see how action actually works inside anything. So I have already created a workflow here. The trigger is a manual trigger that runs every minute. This is what we actually did in the last video, basically related to trigger. Basically, I will create a new Google Sheet using Excel. Here you can see one gray sphere. So I will click and hold it, drag it. Now here I will search for Google Sheet, create a spreadsheet. Here I have already chosen my Google account. So if you have to know how to create one, I have explained it in the previous video regarding triggers, so you can watch it. Now I will add a title. Okay. Now here there is currently any sheet exists, so I have to add one. For that I have to the title. Okay. Now I will execute the step and successfully. Now I will pass to the workflow here. That also successful. Copy this URL, will paste it, browser tab. You can see now a new spreadsheet has been created. Now you can edit here anything and you can share it. So basically, we see how to create one Google Sheet. That is our next step after the manual trigger. So with the help of action, you can give the next step after trigger. So basically, this was the video about action. Okay, thank you for today. Next video, we will discuss the data transformation. Till then,
Hey everyone, welcome back to my n8n automation series. In today's video, we'll talk about two super important topics, that is data transformation and data mapping. These are the backbones of clean and reliable automation workflows. So let's get started. First of all, we will see what is transformation. So data transformation simply means changing or cleaning data to make it useful. For example, if someone enters their name with the extra space or age as text, you can clean it up and make it consistent. Here you can see we change darshan to darshan, that is D capital, and converted age from a string to a number. This helps keep data organized and ready to use in automation. Now we will see why transformation is important. So because automation depends on clean and consistent data. If your data isn't in the right format, your Google Sheet, data, the database, or API might show errors. Transformation makes sure everything runs smoothly, saving you a lot of manual work later. So now we will see what are the some useful nodes for transformation. And these are the set node help us create or edit fields quickly. If we need more control, the function node allows custom JavaScript logic when combining data from two sources. We use the merge node, and if we need to process a list one by one, split in batches is perfect. Together, this make our workflow flexible and powerful. Now we will see some real world use cases. So let's say you collect customer data from a form before uploading it to your CRM. You can clean names and emails automatically, or if you have time stamps, you can convert them into readable date format. You can also calculate totals or normalized survey results for reports. These transformations make your automation more accurate and efficient. So now we will move to mapping. So after transformation, Our new topic comes mapping. Mapping means connecting one field to another. For example, if your form has a field called first name, but your CRM expects customer.name, so you simply map one to the other. It helps both systems understand each other, like translating data from one language to another. Now we will see some mapping tools available in n8n. So, so here we can directly drag and drop field using expression inside node, that is using set node, and in function node we can build complex mappings or nested structure, that is a structure, and in it there is another structure, that is substructure. Then in merge node we can combine multiple data sources, and in the respond to webhook we can return or forward our map data. Now we will see some real world use cases of data mapping. So mapping is useful in many real world workflows. You can map customer details from a website form to your CRM, or convert order data into an invoice structure. You can even align API responses before saving them to your database, or send IoT, that is Internet of Things sensor readings, to a dashboard in the right format. So now we will see a live demo for data transformation in the n8n screen. So let's move there. Now here we will see an example of data transformation. For that we will take one node trigger manually. Now we will edit set node. Here I will add a field, and here I will keep this on, and now here I will add my name and value version. Another add field here, marks 90. Now I will go back. First of all I will execute the step. Here it showing me the name Darshan and marks 90. Now we have to add another node, and we here want to add our grade, and also one condition that if my marks is above 40 then it will show pass, otherwise fail, and result also, that result. Now we will see, now we will, for that I will add another set node. Here I will add field. Here I will add student name, and here I will add value, that is curly bracket. For that I have to uh, move to expression. Now expression. Now here I will type dollar sign JSON big bracket marks, and if here outside my condition, that is if it is equal to or above 40, then write uh, pass, otherwise fail. Okay, now again here I will execute the step, and here it runs successfully. Now I will execute also here, and I will see my output here, that student name and pass. Sorry, one thing I forgot to add my name. Here student name. For that we will write code, dollar sign JSON big bracket name, and here Now add field. Here we will add our grade, that is result. Now we will execute. Back to canvas. Now execute the workflow, and now here it's showing that student name Darshan and result passed. In initial it showed me that our student name is Darshan and marks is 90. Now I change it, so here it will show Darshan and the result based on JSON code. So this was the data transformation. Now in next video we will discuss about what is error handling and what are the major six types of technique that most of the n8n creator using to just let go of the errors and make sure they uh, take some steps in order to avoid some errors which uh, uh, with that stopping their code or their workflow to get success. So we will discuss about them in next video. Till then, stay safe. Make sure you like the video, share and subscribe. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to talk about something super important in n8n, that is error handling. Whether you are building automations for business or personal projects, errors are bound to happen. But don't worry. n8n gives us powerful ways to control, manage, and respond to those errors instead of letting them break your workflows. By the end of this video, you will know 6 major ways to handle errors in n8n. So let's get started. Now we will see what is error handling in n8n. So first of all, it is a mechanism that defines how an agent should behave when a node or a workflow fails. On top of that, instead of completely stopping or crashing, you can control what happens next. For example, you can tell n8n that stop the whole workflow if this node fails, or retry automatically a few times before giving up, or even continue and skip the fail step. This gives you total flexibility and ensures your automation doesn't break due to one small error. Now we will see the major six types of error handling techniques in n8n. First is stop workflow, second is retrieve and failure, third is continue and failed, fourth is split error route, fifth is field agent through LLM, and sixth is error workflow. Now we will discuss them one by one. So basically, first is stop workflow. So this means whenever a node fails, maybe an API request times out or a function node has a syntax error, the entire workflow stops right there. This is idle when you don't want to process incomplete or corrupted data. For example, if your create invoice step fails, you don't want to send an email saying the invoice was created, right? So stopping the workflow helps maintain data integrity, and it will let you fix the problem before continuing. So now we will move to the second error handling technique, that is retrieve and failure. So sometimes errors are temporary, like a network lag or a slow API response. In such cases, stopping the entire workflow is unnecessary. With retrieve and failure, you can set how many times you retry and how long to wait between retries. For example, retry 3 times, wait 5 seconds between each try. This makes your automation much more reliable and self-healing, especially for external API calls or database writes. Now, the third type is continue when failed. Here, even if a node fails, the workflow doesn't stop. It keeps executing the next nodes. You might use this when the failed step is optional. For instance, if an email sending node fails, but you still want to log the data in Google Sheets, you can continue. This keeps your automation smooth and avoids complete stops for small errors. Now we'll see the fourth type, that is split error route. So basically this and enable. Now we will look at split error route. So when you enable this, a node will have two outputs, one for successful execution, second is one for errors. This allows you to design parallel paths, one for success, another for handling failures. For example, if an HTTP node fails, you can use the error route to send a Slack alert, save the error details in a database, or notify a team member. This is a super powerful when you want to take smart actions after an error. Now The fifth is fallback agent through LLM. So here a really cool use case, fallback agent using LLM, that is large language model. So using this, you can create a separate branch in your workflow using an AI agent node that catches errors and automatically responds or suggests a fix. Let take an instance. If your function node fails, the LLM can receive the error message, analyze it, and tell you why it happened, or even generate a corrected version of your script. This adds intelligence to your workflow and acts like your personal troubleshooting assistant inside n8n. Now, last but not the least, the sixth is error workflow. So basically, the most comprehensive method, the error workflow, which separate workflow that triggers automatically whenever another workflow fails. You just create a new workflow and the error trigger node, and you just create a new workflow, add the error trigger node, and configure it to catch errors from other workflows. Inside, you can add nodes to log errors, send alerts via Slack, or save them in Notion or Airtable for future reference. So I think this is a perfect for teams or production system. It gives you a centralized way to monitor and respond to any failure. Now we'll look at a live demo, and we will run each and every workflow for the six error handling techniques, and we will see by doing some mistakes also, so we can know how actually the original workflow run without error, and how whenever error get occurs, so how it will going to be response to each and every particular that error. So let's move to the screen. Now here I will first of all add another node, which is HTTP request, and here I will add my one URL. Now I will execute this step, and it runs successfully. Now what I will do, I will just copy this and paste it here. It will give me a image of a dog. Now it means that it had run successfully. Now what I will do is here, just I will make an error, and now I will execute the step, and it will generate the error. And now here we are not going to now n8n doesn't allow us to fix this error, because it will stop the whole workflow. So this will stop the whole workflow, and we are not going to modify the n8n workflow anymore. So it is just like the end of the program. Now we will see the example for second workflow. Now again I will add my HTTP request. Again here I will type my URL. Now again I will execute it. So it runs successful. So now I will make an error here, and in settings I will just retry on fail, and here we can see that maximum it will try for 3 times, and it will wait for 1000 milliseconds, that is 1 second between each try, that is the interval. Now I will execute. Uh, so see, the this node will automatically retry if it fails. So first time here we got an error, so it will retry it, and he will send us the error message for 3 times. It is just like the first one, but the only difference is that first one will stop forever, and this will try for the mentioned above mentioned tries, that is 3, or even if you can give 5, 10, so they will try for that. So because what happens, sometimes the errors are, as I said, that is due to some technical error. So for that, they give us the chance that you can run the entire program for at least this number of tries, so you can sometime you get your required output. So after, so if the try get above this number or this accurate mentioned tries, then it will stop it forever. Now we'll see our third part, that is continue when fail. For that also I will add the HTTP request. Here again I will give the URL, I will execute it and it executed successfully. Now I will go into the setting and on error I will just press continue. Now see, and now I will uh, change the text. See, here still it has error, still the node executed successfully. Here you can see that if I click on execute workflow, even it has a lot of errors. Here there was only one, but if your code has the maximum or lot of number of errors, still it will flow continually without any showing any error. Now we will look at the fourth error handling technique, that is split error root. So they will split the error. First is edit fields and second, for example, Gmail. So they will send the error message into the our account. Like first for that, we will first of all add the HTTP request here. It's dog image and I will execute it. It runs successfully. Go back to canvas. Now here, mm, just we will add another, that is Gmail, another node. Here's send a message. Here I will write my email address and now here we will going to add the subject, that is error, and here the message that automation has error. Now I will execute it and it has run successfully. Now even I can go to the Gmail and here it will be going to show me the error here, that automation has error and the subject is error. So it means our fourth error handling technique has run successfully, and in this way you can get notified with the errors so that you can get the idea that what really has to be modified without make the automation stop. Now we will look at our fifth error handling technique, that is fallback agent LLM. So here they has one motive that if one LLM doesn't work, we can use another one as a backup. So here, as we see that here I had used OpenAI chat model. I will open chat and here I will simply type hello message and they reply me that hello, how can I assist you today? It means our workflow run successfully. But let's do some changes. Here I just change my OpenAI account. Now I will move back and I will now open chat and I will type hello. So here it show me the error that first of all check your credential. Now what I will do, I will add another chat model here, like as a backup. For that I have to click on AI agent, here enable fallback model, and now I will add fallback, that is Anthropic AI. So here you can use another Anthropic chat model as a backup. So if first one get error, so you can use the Anthropic chat model second one. Here currently it's not able to run because you have to make sure that you have at least $5 of account in Anthropic chat model. So to use that. So if you pay that, you will get your API key, and here in your select credential, create new credential. Here you can simply copy paste your API key, and then you will get the access just like OpenAI chat model here. Then you can run successfully your uh, code or prompt with Anthropic chat model or any other backup model. So this was the fifth part. Now we will look for the sixth part. Hello. Now for the sixth error handling technique. First of all, we created this free. First, we will add schedule trigger. Make sure here trigger interval. You click on seconds and gap is 10. Then back to canvas. Then you have to add HTTP request and edit fields. Now what you have to do? You have to simply select on the plus workflow personal, and they will create a new workflow for you. That's I have already created these two. Then you have to add error trigger. Simply here you have to error trigger, search for it, and you have to add, and then Gmail and send a message. Here you have to add your email account, then error and message uh, in expression form. I will simply here uh, write automate has got error URL, and I will drag and drop here. Now for message, I will drag and drop the message here. Now I'll move back to canvas, save it. Now here, simply what I will do, uh, I will first of all, I will save this, go to setting here. In this error workflow, I have to select my second. You can simply rename it by clicking on here. Now I will select it, I will save. Now what I will do here, I will simply, yeah, before that I have to active this. Now I will simply here do some change. Now I will execute the workflow. So here we will see uh, the errors will show here, and for that I will click on Gmail. Also in here execution we can see the message that here at 8:15 we got our error, and simply here also in error box. So this was the video regarding how to handle each and every error. So this was the major six types of error that generally occur when you get involved in the n8n workflow automation. So you do not have to get afraid. There are, as we discussed, there are major six techniques, and these are the, I think, top six technique to solve and handle the errors. So we will see you in the next video. Till then, stay safe. Thank you. Hey everyone, welcome back to the n8n Beginner series. In the last video, we explored error handling in n8n, where we learned how to manage workflow errors using options like stop workflow, retry on failure, continue on fail, and even creating a dedicated error workflow. Today, we are going to step further and focusing on what is debugging and collaboration in n8n. Learning how to actually find out why a node failed, how to inspect data at each step, and how to fix those issues quickly using n8n's built-in debugging tools. So by the end of this video, you will know how to visually track errors, understand node execution data, and confidently troubleshoot your workflow in real time. So let's get started. Now we will see what is debugging. So it's one of the most important steps while building automation workflows. Debugging simply means identifying and fixing any issues in your workflow. n8n provides us with amazing visual tools that make it really simple to track what's happening inside each node and understand how data is moving through the workflow. So, first of all, the most easiest debugging method is using the education data panel. When you execute a workflow or a single node, n8n shows exactly what data entered the node and what come out of it. You can view JSON inputs and outputs, making it easy to identify whether things might be going wrong. For example, missing keys or maybe wrong formats or failed API responses. You can also toggle between nodes to trace how your data evolves through the workflow. Now, next we have debug mode. This helps us trace each step as it runs. You can see the complete execution stack, which is super helpful to identify the exact node causing issues. If a node fails, n8n also displays a clear error message and stack trace. For more advanced cases, we can even set up a dedicated error workflow which triggers automatically whenever any node fails, sending you notification and logging the error for future review. And this error handling technique, that is error workflow, that we have already discussed in the previous video, and that was the our sixth one of the sixth major error handling technique, and it was the sixth one. So you can also watch that particular thing there in the previous video. So now we will see some and here finally we will see some best practices to keep your debugging process smooth. Always execute one node at a time while building, so issues are easy to isolate. Secondly, you use test or mock data to prevent affecting real systems. Thirdly, decide when to stop on error or continue on fail depending on your workflow's importance. And lastly, note your fixes and changes. This makes future debugging much faster. Debugging isn't about errors, it's about learning how your automation behaves. Now let's move further, and we have another powerful feature, that is collaboration in n8n. So automation is rarely a one person job. We often build and maintain workflow as a team. So n8n uh, provides collaborative tools that let multiple users share, review, and manage workflows together with proper access controls and versions management. In in n8n, you can manage collaboration through user management. You can invite teammates and assign them roles such as owner, editor, or viewer. This ensures only authorized members can make changes or run workflow. For example, editors can modify workflow while viewer can only monitor them, maintaining both flexibility and security. Second, collaboration also means sharing workflows efficiently. In n8n, you can export any workflow as a JSON file and share it with teammates. They can easily import and start using it. In the enterprise edition, we n8n also provide version control, so you can track changes over time, review edits, and even roll back to earlier versions if something breaks. So this makes teamwork more safer, and more structured. So now to the close of, here are some best practices for team collaboration in n8n. First is always maintain consistent naming conventions for workflows and nodes. This helps everyone understand the logic quickly. Use shared credentials very cautiously and store them securely. You can also keep documentation updated, describing what each workflow does and who manages it. And finally, review and test workflows together periodically to avoid dependency or logical issues. So, team collaboration keeps automation transparent, safe, and scalable. So, this was the two major features of n8n, that is debugging and collaboration. Now, we will see the live demo for debugging. So, let's move to the screen. Now, here I will going to explain you how debug works. So debug is just a very easy thing, that is just let you know about how actually you can find your errors and what actually the kind of error is, and then they will let you know that how to solve it. So for that, I will select manual trigger. Then after I will go for HTTP request. Here I will type URL, and I will make a mistake here. Now I will execute it. So it's showing error, and also we can see what kind of error it is. Simply we just click here, and here it's error details. We can see the kind of errors and all this. Now let's just recorrect it. Now I will execute it. So it runs successfully. Now go back to canvas. Here in execution, you can see the whole history. Green showing that it's run successfully at this particular time, and red shows that at this point of time they were showing error. And you can also see uh, you can also see the particular node, how the node was actually at that time, and what was the mistake in it. So this was the thing for debugging. So this was the end of our beginner tutorial series. So in the next video, we will start our advanced course for the n8n. Till then, stay safe. Thank you, and keep sharing and support this series. Thank you. Hey everyone, welcome back to our n8n series. In the previous video, we completed the beginner course. Now we are moving to advanced course. So in today's video, we are diving into one of the most exciting and powerful part of n8n, that is complex data flows. Up until now, we have been working simple linear workflows where data moves from one node to next, but in real world automation, data isn't always that much simple. Sometimes we need to split, merge, or loop through items from multiple paths, and that's exactly what we are going to learn today. By the end of this video, you will clearly understand how data flows through nodes and how execution order works, how to handle multiple items using the loop over items node, and how to bring everything back together using the merge node. So let's write in and start exploring how complex workflows in n8n come to life. So first of all, we will going to start the concept of node execution order. So in and every node performs a small part of our automation. For example, one node might fetch data from Google Sheets, another might filter it, and another might send it to Slack. When we execute a node, we are basically telling n8n run this node now, and show me what it does. They'll help us test individual parts of the workflow instead of running everything at once. It's like checking each piece of puzzle before putting it all together. So, and also what happens sometimes we receive data in bulk, like 10 customers. If you want to process each record separately, maybe send each one on email or check their account balance individually. So that's where splitting data comes in. It allows to break the big batch into small items, so an attacker look through each item and perform the same action for all. After splitting our data, we use the loop over item mode node to process each item step by step. Think of it like saying you have 5 customer entries. The loop over items node will run the next set of node 5 times, one for each customer. This is how we create a smart automated loops in n8n without writing any code. So after splitting and looping data, we often need to combine outputs from two branches. For example, one branch might fetch customer details and another might fetch their order data. So the merged data help us bring both together into a single data set. It offers three nodes. First is append, which simply stacks items from both inputs. Second is combine, which pairs items side by side like columns in a table. And choose, which lets you pick which inputs data to keep. So this level of flexibility make the merge node perfect for integrating data from multiple paths in your workflow. Here you can see the example one SS, that is screenshot I'm showing you of how the parameters of merge node actually look, and here we can see the mode. So in we get three options like choose, combine, and append. So we can choose based on our criteria, and we can perform the complex data flow very efficiently. So now we are going to see a live demo that how to and we will see some sort of workflows of nodes that are actually how it done using some of these complex nodes. So let's turn it on screen, and where we're going to see how this actually work in a practical way. We're going to see the live demo for it as we discussed earlier. Here we are going to add our first node, that is manual trigger. Now we will search for a set. Here we will add the fields name, student name, add field. Again we will add like course, let's say n8n. There is. Now we will move back. Here we are going to add our another node called function node. We will select JavaScript here. uh, Instead of that we will just type return items. Now here we see that it will going to execute the step by step the node either from right to left or top to bottom. So it just work in a way. Here we can see our output. So this was the example for mm, node execution order, that each and every node work in a sequence. And now we are going to see example of splitting data. For that we will going to add trigger. Now we will add again set node. Here name, student name, version, add field, marks 89. Now here I will add loop over items, that is split in batches. I will select the batch size 1 or even 2, let's say 1. Now I will execute it, and here it's showing me the output. So this was the example of splitting data, that here they split the data like done branch, but here it all already in loop. So here they are not showing the answer. Instead they are showing here with a separate column called loop branch, because it is for one way, and here it is for the loop that is done repeatedly. So this was the examples of how complex data flow work. uh, it for And that's it for today's session on complex data flows in n8n. We started by learning how nodes execute individually, then explore how to split data into smaller parts, then we process them one by one using loops, and finally merging everything back together with the merge node. These are the core techniques that allow you to handle real world dynamic data in n8n, whether it's hundreds of records, multiple APIs, or different data streams. In the next video, we'll take these concepts further with some more topics that I will discuss you in the next video. Till then, you stay safe, stay healthy. If you found this helpful, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming lessons in the n8n Advanced series. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our n8n Automation series. So today we are going to step into something even more powerful, that is advanced technical nodes in n8n.
These tools give us the flexibility to perform complex operations like running the code, managing loops, transforming data dynamically, and connecting workflows together. So let's dive in and explore these advanced tools step by step, with clear explanations and easy examples so you can try out right away. So first of all, we will see what is function node. So it is the most powerful tool in n8n. It allows you to write JavaScript directly inside the workflow. For example, if you receive a list of usernames and want them all in uppercase, so you can use this short script. The function node gives you total control over data logic and custom formatting, just like a mini code editor inside your workflow. And also, we have already discussed this function node a lot of time in our previous videos. So again, I will, just for your kind information, I will again explain this, that how it works. Otherwise, it's very easy. The more deeper you will go, the more advanced knowledge you will get about each and every node. For today, I will explain you what how the function node exactly work. So just keep watch till the end. Then we will going to see the next node, that is function item node. So it is also the one of the most important, and also this is the smaller version of uh, function node that we previously discussed. And instead of dealing with the entire list, process one item at a time. For example, you can ensure all emails are lowercase before sending them to a database. It's simple, clean, and prevents mistake during data transformation. Basically, I would like to say that function item node is basically more uh, convenient than function node when it comes to done the task very efficiently. There is each input is equal to one output format, that wherever your one input is correctly regarded as the output, then it will take the next process. Otherwise, they will still going to stuck into that particular thing, and you have to deal with the error in order to move to the next one. So that's why a lot of programmers who are creating an n8n workflow basically prefer the function item node. And that is already we have discussed a lot of time. Maybe we have used a different name, as n8n shows a different name for it. So we will again going to I'm going to show you. Now we will going to see the code node. The code node is like an upgraded version of the function node. The function item node was the smaller version, and this is the upgraded, that is the modified version of uh, that is the what function node. And it supports unsynchronized operations, meaning you can call external APIs, wait for response, and then return data all inside one node. This makes it the ideal for integrating custom APIs or advanced automation logic. Now we are going to see the execute workflow node, that is also known as modular automation. And finally, it helps to if it helps us to break the complex automation into smaller and reusable parts. So for example, if you imagine that you have a data cleanup process in you use in multiple projects, instead of copying it, you can call it directly using this node. This modular design keeps your n8n space neat and very scalable. And we are going to now see a live demo for it. So let's move to the screen. Here, first of all, I will add a trigger node. Then here I will add the set. And basically this is the function item node that already we discussed here. Now I'm pretty sure that you already have been familiar with this node, that here you can add a lot of different number of uh, values. Again, I will click on add field. Let's say here last name, and here I will type root. Uh, let's say here I will type, so here I will change for number. Here I will type um, Joe wrote, and basically it's a cricketer. So here I will take the number of matches he has played. Let's say 256 matches in international cricket. Again, I will add mm, international runs he had created. That is also in number form, and he has scored, let's say, more than 20,000 runs. So let's say 20,677 runs. And let's execute it. So here you can see the name is Joe Root, a cricketer from England, and here he had scored 20,677 runs, and also he had played 256 international match for this country. So this is the way you can simply write. Here you can see output in different forms. Here it shows in a simple, that is the variable form, here tabular form, and here the curly braces, that is the code form, JSON form. So here this was the function item node, and also we have already discussed the function node. As we have already used the code, and here I will type code. So here we can see our code run successfully. Let's see the execution part. So here it's showing basically the number of matches, the message, the player undefined scored undefined runs into 56. So basically here they didn't has taken the average runs per match and also the player name, but they has taken the matches. So basically, the more you will dive into it more deeper, then you will get to know about how it works. So this was the function and function node. And that wraps up our session on advanced technical nodes in n8n. We explored function, function item, code, and execute workflow nodes, each giving us a new level of control and customization. If you found this helpful, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to try these nodes on your own n8n workspace. So really see their magic in action. So see you in the next video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the n8n Advanced series. In the last video, we explored advanced technical nodes and development techniques in n8n. So now, in that video, we discuss how to perform complex operations and manage data flows efficiently. Now, in this video, we are going to dive deeper into two essential topics of n8n, and that is pinning data and editing output. These are super helpful when you are building or testing complex workflows, as they will let you work faster without constantly rerunning the whole process. So let's get started and make your workflow testing more efficient. So first of all, we'll see what is pinning data. So pinning data is like freezing a snapshot of a node's output. So as we know that sometimes we just freeze or we say statue or something, so it is just like that. So here you can sometimes uh, even sometimes you can pin the output so that you can reuse it without rewriting the whole code. And sometimes you can even specific you can pin the specific code so that you can reuse it whenever it is necessary, without avoiding the hustles. And here, for example, imagine you have a fetch data from an API and you are just testing how it flows to the next node. So, what instead of calling the API again and each time, you can pin the data to reuse it. This feature helps developers save time and also avoid unnecessary API calls, especially when dealing with rate limited services or large data sets. So it's very useful when you are mapping fields or performing transformation on static sample data. And now we will see how to pin data practically. So first execute any node, for example, a function node or a set node. You will see the output data below. Then now what you have to do, you have to click on the pin data icon at the top of that section. We will as we already have seen that section a lot of times. We were When I was explaining you the live demo for the previous videos and also in the beginner series, we have already witnessed that particular thing called pin data. But sometime what as we already were highlighting the major other parts, so we were not focused on, maybe you have not focused on the pin data. But we will see in the later on that what actually pin data is and how to do it, and how it will going to help the programmer for n8n workflow, for creating n8n workflow. Then what you have to do, the data will then you have to click the pin data icon, as I said, at the top of that action. Then the data will highlight in orange or any other color, which means it's now pinned. Maybe that will be orange for sure. And if you know execute the nodes, n8n will reuse this pin data without returning the source code. So to go back to the live data, so if we don't want to pin the code particular section of the workflow anymore, then we can simply unpin the data also. So and then we can rerun the whole code. This gives you complete control over test during workflow building. Now we will see the benefits of pinning data. So the benefits of pinning data are very huge, especially when creating or building complex workflows. First of all, it speeds up the development, prevents error from frequent API calls, and make testing downstream logic smoother. For instance, if you are using a function node to format data, you don't want to be refetch the inputs every time again and again. So simply instead of it, you can pin it once and keep testing your logic until it's perfect. So that was the case. Now we will see another important tool, that is the editing output data. Sometimes you need to simulate a specific data structure without running a real API. So at that time, you can use this editing output data. In such cases, you can manually edit the node output. Just click on the output section, choose edit data, and modify the JSON. You can change values, add or remove fields, or test how your workflow reacts to missing data. This helps you prepare for real world variations and edge cases, and also without needing to reconfigure the entire workflow. Now, before we wrap up, a few best practice, that is always unpin data before you save or deploy the workflow. Pin data is only for testing, so you have to make sure that whenever you have pinned data, you have to unpin before saving it, or whenever your work is complete, or you have to close your annotate section. Just so in that case, you have to unpin your data. So use the pin. That is the best. I will say the note in double quotation that use the pin thing on pin the data only when you are testing it. So it's only working. You have to work it only for that purpose. Otherwise, you just have to keep it as it is. Then use pinning and editing together when debugging data transformation or dynamic fields. For instance, before sending live data to an API, pin and edit test data to make sure your mapping work perfectly. This combo make your workflow development more predictable and reliable. So this was the best practices and some of the cases for the utilization of editing output data. Now we will see a live demo for it. So for that, we will move to the screen. Now here, in order to see the pin data, we will simply add the trigger menu, manual trigger, then a set node. Here I will add a field called student name. Its value that is, let's say, will. I will again add a field called last name. The buyers. Now I will execute it. So it executed successfully. Now we can see here is the option called pin data. So here already they have given us a node, that is node will always output current data instead of executing. Doesn't apply to production execution. For more info, you can simply click here and you can uh, see its whole documentation. And even in case if you want to chat with the docs, so that is the AI, you can see what is data uh, pinning and here data editing also. So here you can simply see the steps, and here I will show you by pinning it. So here my code is pinned, and as I said, the button or the tab will become orange. So here you can see that. So now here it's already pinned. So if I uh, perform several things here, then it will remain pinned, like I change. See here it's saying that unpin and test, that actually that exactly what I discussed earlier, that if you want to test the data then you have to simply unpin it. So here I will unpin it. See, so here student name changed as Jonathan, last name is same buyers, and here just okay here yes, that was the mistouch. Now here we can see uh, now again if I pin this then it will become pin. So again if I have to add it, so we have to unpin it like this, and then again I can change my thing from choice execute. See, it works. And now here we will see edit data. It's simply nothing but just how to edit your JSON file and JSON code. Even here you can also read the points. Uh, Here they already discussed that you can simply click on the edit option, so you can simply change your workflow execution and also the past execution with the new one. Uh, let's see that. Here, as we have already changed this name for 3 times from Will to Jonathan to Joyce, that is also the editing of data. Even if I add here one node called function node, yes, in JavaScript, and here also if I execute, it executed successfully, and simply here I can change the little things, whatever I have to change for the particular criteria. So here I can add those things. Like here I can delete it, or also here I can change two or three as per my criteria. So these all things here they have used the for loop, and this is the function of JavaScript. The code is in the form of function of JavaScript. So I can to get my output. So simply here you can do all the things which is necessary based on your requirement for your task in n8n workflow or for creation of n8n workflow. This is the things you can keep in mind, and that you can work as per your conditions. So this was the data editing and data pinning. So as we will move further, or as you will become more habituated to n8n workflow, you can see how data pinning and editing data and other parts which we have already discussed can would be very helpful and very they will provide you very assistance to you. So this was the case. uh, so uh, this was the video for pinning data and editing output. So now these tools might look small, as we discussed that it was looking very easy. Really, if you initiate the things, it will be very easy for you to start and to do a lot of things. But if as more you will deep dive into it more deeper, then you will see that how uh, complex it is also, if I say the truth, and also it is very useful to you and those who are using these two tools very efficiently, in a very accurate way. They can make they can save a lot of time there. They also get more productive output than others, and also even as compared to other alternatives. And in the next video, we will going to discuss the one of the most interesting topic, that is sub workflows. So till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and also make sure you like this video if you really love the n8n this series. Then make sure you subscribe and save the playlist and share it to your friends and family.
In the last video, we explored how to make your workflow testing faster and smarter using pinning data and editing output. Today, we are stepping into something even more powerful, that is sub workflows in n8n. Sub workflows let you reuse and modify your automation logic so you can build cleaner or more scalable, that is, yeah, or more peak workflows. By the end of this video, you will know how to create, call, and manage sub workflows effectively in n8n. So let's jump right in. So what exactly is a sub workflow? In n8n, a sub workflow is simply another workflow that you can call from your main one, almost like a function in programming. As we know that function that is used to call a particular object from another one in particular languages like C, C++, Java, Python. So just like that workflow exactly work, uh, just replicate that function in n8n workflows. So it allows you to reuse logic, keep your main workflow clean, and maintain your automation easily. For example, if multiple workflows send Slack messages, instead of repeating those nodes, you can create one Slack message workflow and call it whenever you need. So what happened? This modular approach saves time and keeps everything organized. Now we will look at when to use sub workflows. Sub workflows are perfect when you find yourself doing the same thing again and again across different workflows. For instance, maybe you always send a success notification, format JSON data, or log results to a database. Instead of duplicating those nodes each time, you can create a reusable workflow and just call it whenever you need it. This saves effort, avoids duplication, and makes updates super easy. Change it once and it updates everywhere it's used. So now we will look at how to create a sub workflow in n8n. So first step is create a new workflow with the logic you want to reuse. For example, you can make one that sends an email notification. Step 2, save and activate it. Third, now in your main workflow, add execute workflow. Select the sub workflow you create earlier, and finally, when you run the main workflow, it will automatically execute the sub workflow inside it, just like calling a function. So now you can also pass the data between main workflow and the sub workflow. How? Let's see it. In the execute workflow node, you will find an option called input data. So here you can send JSON or any field from your parent workflow. Inside the sub workflow, you can access it using uh, this uh, this curly bracket, the code that is curly bracket dollar sign JSON, and here the curly braces and these all things are mandatory, as we have already discussed this in the previous videos. And instead of JSON, you can write your own code, uh, whatever you want as an output. So you can write as per your conditions and criteria. So and when the sub workflow finishes, it can return its output back to the parent workflow, making data exchange smooth and dynamic. Now we will see some benefits of using workflows. So sub workflows bring structure and scalability to your automations. They make it easier to manage complex systems because instead of one giant workflow, you can break it into smaller and reusable parts. Also, it maintains it maintenance becomes simpler too. So if one part changes, you just update the sub workflow instead of editing every workflow individually. In short, they make your automation ecosystem cleaner, faster, and much easier to maintain. So now we will see a live demo for it. So let's move to the n8n screen. Okay, so here I will simply going to open our first main workflow. Uh, Before that, I will create a sub workflow. Here uh, you can simply just double tap on the name and you can give any name. Here I will give it like it was before, that is sub workflow 1. Now here I will add a manual trigger. So if you didn't give the manual trigger and just move to the next node, it will defaultly take the manual trigger. So here I just give it or I take it. Otherwise, if you don't search and drop down or drag and drop this node, it will automatically by default the n8n use the execute manual trigger for the program. So now here you have to click on plus and simply you just have to write the function node. Here I will select code in JavaScript, and here I will type my code. Okay, so now what I will do is right now we will keep it like this. Now we will go back to canvas, click on plus, select workflow, personal, and here save, and personal workflow. Here I have already created main workflow. So here I will click. Now I will select again trigger manually, edit fields, that is set node. Here I will type name, first name, that is, let's say Dustin. Again eld field, last name, Anderson. Um, Here I will choose my sub workflow, add option, bit of, and now here I will execute and it runs successfully. Let's see. So here it is showing my output that exactly what we selected from the sub workflow. Here first name and last name. So this in this video we understand that how our one workflow is connected to the other and how it connect both and generate outputs. In this way you can learn sub workflow just to combine your multiple workflows. So thank you for today and we will see you in the next video.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the n8n Advanced series. In the last video, we learned about sub workflows, that is how to reuse and modularize your automatic automation logic. Today, we will going to explore another crucial advanced feature, that is error workflows. Sometimes even the best workflow can fail due to API errors, network issues, or invalid data. At that time, when error workflows come in, they help they help us handle failures automatically and keep automations running smoothly. So let's understand what error workflows are, how to create one, and how to use it effectively in n8n. So, error workflow is a special type of workflow in n8n that automatically runs whenever another workflow fails. It receives information about what went wrong, like which node failed, the error message, and the workflow name. You can use this data to automatically log the issue, notify your team on Slack or email, or even retry specific operations. Then we will see that this feature is extremely useful when you are running multiple automated processes and need reliable error tracking. Now we will see certain steps to create the error workflow. First of all, you have to create a new workflow. Then you have to select the error workflow trigger as your start node. Then you have to add the actions you want. For example, sending an email to the admin or creating an entry in a Google Sheet. Once done, you have to save and activate it. Finally, you have to go to your n8n settings under error workflow and select this workflow as a global error handler. Now, whenever any workflow fails, this one will automatically execute. This is the part that we are going to see in our live demo at the end of the video. So please stay tuned and watch till the end. So then we are going to discuss about what are accessing, how to access error details. Then if the error workflow gives you detailed context about the failure, you can access this information using the $json variable as visible in your inside your error workflow nodes. Some key fields include the name of the workflow that failed, the node that caused the error message, and the execution ID. You can use all these variable to send detailed and meaningful alerts. Here, I will also going to show you the illustration for it. Um then we will see the practical use cases of the error workflows. So here are some great ways to use error workflows in real project. First of all, you can send Slack or email notification immediately when something fails, so your team can act quickly. Or you can log all errors in a Google Sheet for review. There are some advanced setups even trigger corrective sub workflow. For instance, if an API request fails, you can retry it after a few minutes automatically. So this makes so all these things makes your automation robust and self-healing. that also mitigate your labor work or manual efforts, as it will create the automation and it will enhance the skills. So they will this error workflow helps your automation workflow to handle your that is all errors and other handlings. Then we will see some best practices for error workflows. So first, when you are building your error workflows, keep a few best practices in mind. That is clear issue. You should clear use and useful details in every alert, like workflow name, error reason, and time span. So the one who is viewing or someone from the team, if he is viewing, so they can know that at this particular time you get this error, and this was the part, like particular line, that line 7 includes this name of this kind of error, so you have to mention the name also. Then you have to so then you have to keep your error workflow very simple, so you don't want to want your error handler to fail too. Also, one thing you have to keep in mind, that you have to test it using a workflow that intentionally throw an error, so you know it's coming. Finally, you have to combine global error workflows with node level error handling, like continue and fail or error branches for completely reliability. These are the things we have already seen in a beginner series, where you can continue and fail in this type of error. The video that we have discussed, in which we have discussed the 6 major types of error handling techniques, so you can watch it also if you want to get the brush up of those particular techniques. Let's We will see the live demo now. So for that, we will move to our screen. So here I'm on the screen. So now what I will do, first of all, I will add a trigger, manual trigger. Now here I will add our function node. Here I will type my code, that is throw new error. Okay, now we'll execute, and this is the thing we will going to see. Yes, here the same thing. Let's see here if we change the statement went wrong daily rightly, that exactly mean the same as previous statement. Yeah, here we can see. So this is our intentional error. This is called intentional error, that we throw a error intentionally, that is based on our desire, that our code should give us error. Okay, now we will go back. Now with the this was the error demo. Now I will create a new for that. You can save it. Here you can click plus and also create a new workflow. Here I have already built one. Now here you have to add our trigger. Now go just keep it as it is. Now here you have to attach the function node again. Now here we will add our JSON code. Now we'll execute it. So here it runs successfully. That is exactly what we wanted. Now what we will do, we will save it. Now we will move to our first code. In here we'll go to settings, and here you have to click on error handler demo as your this variable or parameter. Then you have to simply click on execute node. Here again they are showing our error. Now we have to go to execution and we can see now here you can see all our errors. Previously I have tried it, so they are showing me the exactly same. Like at this time, as we discussed, that it provides you the time span also and the type of error. So here all this information is. So here simply with the help of these statements or the data, you can simply make sure you can recorrect or modify or rectify your errors. So this is the thing which is very helpful for a workflow, and this is the thing which helpful in mainly in big workflow when you are creating big workflows. At that time, if you are working in a group and that time these kind of errors happen, so you can simply let your other partners help you for a particular this time to solve the particular this error at this time span. You can even as much as more you will try in this section, you will more the more number of knowledge and idea you will get, even hands-on experience also, that how to uh, learn and also how to get get into this kind of uh, error handling techniques and also these error workflows. So simply this is the way connect. This is also connecting to error handling. So this was the way you can create and check your errors. And that's wraps up our video on error workflows in n8n. You have just learned how to automatically capture, analyze, and respond to workflow failures, a key skill for building reliable automations. So now, to, for now, we will keep it to this much. In the next video, we are going to see a more curious topic. So till then, you stay safe, stay happy, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with the n8n Advanced series. Thanks for watching. Hey everyone, welcome back to the n8n Advanced series. In our last video, we learned how to manage and respond to workflow failures using error workflows, a key part of building reliable automations. Today, we are switching gears and focusing on something more practical, that is handling files in n8n. Whether you are working with images, PDFs, spreadsheets, or document, n8n provides powerful tools to upload, read, and transfer file across different nodes. By the end of this video, you will know how to create workflows that automatically handle files from start to finish. So let's jump in. When we talk about handling files in n8n, we mean any process that involves uploading, reading, modifying, or sending files between nodes. This could be a CSV from Google Drive, a PDF from Gmail, or an image uploaded via webhook or HTTP request. File handling is essential when you want to automate reports, manage documents, or sync files between apps like Dropbox, Drive, and Notion. It's all about automating how files move and transform through your workflows. There are many ways to work with files in n8n. So first of all, you can upload or download files from source like Google Drive, Dropbox, or FTP server. You can also convert files for example, turning a CSV into JSON or encoding a by file to base64 for API uploads. Also, you can even split or merge or parse the file contents using function or spreadsheet file nodes. This is majorly used for the advanced cases, and also you can save processed files locally or push them back to cloud storage. Then let's look at a simple but powerful use case is automating a file upload. So step one, you can start with a webhook node to receive an uploaded file from a form or API. Then you have to convert it from binary to JSON if you want to analyze or rename it. Then you can process it or maybe change its name, filter contents, or add a timestamp. And then you can also upload it to Google Drive, Dropbox, or any preferred platform. You can even send a confirmation message or email automatically once the file is successfully uploaded. Uh, Before we wrap up, here are some best practices for handling files in n8n. Keep an eye on file sizes. Large files can slow down execution. So use compression or cloud links for big files instead of transferring them directly. Then you can always check the binary key name. For example, your file might be under data file or image depending on the node. Then clean up temporary data after processing and use triggers like Webhook or cron to automate file-based workflows on schedule. Now we will see a live demo for it. So for that we will move to our screen. Here we will add first of all HTTP request. Here I will add a URL of my photo, that is n8n logo. Now I will execute it. So here we can say that our node executed successfully. So here we have successfully uploaded our file, and here in output we have read our file. So this was the one fundamental of a fundamental aspect of handling files, that you can read the data. In similar way, you can send it or even upload it to any drive or any other preferred platforms. So in this way, you can create your workflows using handling files. Here again, I will add another HTTP request. Here I will paste it. I will execute. Here our S3 Cloud Hub YouTube channel schema, that is the HTML code that is the JSON format code, has run successfully. So first type we send it in a PNG form, and here I have sent read it in a JSON format. So in this way, you can handle your multiple files even simultaneously, using several techniques and several nodes in n8n. And that's it for today's videos on handling files in n8n. You have just learned how to upload, process, and manage files using nodes like webhooks, binary, or binary to JSON, and drive integrations, and also using HTTP request. In the next video, we will see another concept for the advanced n8n series. So we will meet you there. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you are enjoying the Annette and Advanced series. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we are diving into something super exciting. We are going to build a complete AI agent workflow using n8n, that is from the scratch itself. So this is the last video of our whole n8n series, and thank you all for stay till to the end. And if you have ever wanted to automate your AI tasks, connect OpenAI or Hugging Face with your data sources, or even make an agent that thinks and acts automatically, so this video is for you. We'll go to step by step through building an AI powered workflow where our agent can receive prompts, process data, and make decisions and send outputs all inside n8n. And the best part, you can customize it for literally anything: customer support, content generation, or even your own data analysis. So now we are going to see at the end of the video, you will not only understand how AI agents work in automation, also you will have your own fully functional AI agent workflow ready to deploy. All right, let's jump right in and start building AI agent workflow. So for that we will move to the screen. Now here, first of all, we are going to click on the, as we already know, first thing I would like to say that we all know how to create an account on it. So if you don't know how to create account on it, so simply you can watch my video. So here is our screen, and this is the canvas, the blank white screen. As you guys see it, it is visible. So this is the canvas, and we are going to build an AI agent fully from the scratch. So if you don't know how to create an account on it, simply I have made a video on it in the beginner n8n beginner series. So simply you can watch there, and after clicking after creating account, simply you have to click on create new workflow. Then simply here you have to rename it whatever the name you want to give. Here I will give AI agent full demo. Simply now I will going to start our project, and here I will first of all I will add a node, and it would be on chat message. Then simply keep it as it is. Now I will add AI agent. Simply you have to click on the first thing, that is AI, and here you have to click on AI agent. Again, keep it as it is. You guys organize it uh, as per your wish. Now I have to add here a chat model. So here there are a lot of chat model available. You can use any one of them. I will use OpenAI for it. Simply here, first of all, as I have already created connected the credentials. So if you want to create it, so simply you have to create a new credential. Then you have to go to the OpenAI platform, and simply by clicking on the new browser tab, and you have to log in, and they will demand for maybe $5 for you to start, and they will provide you the API key. So you, in order to, if you not want to give that $5 just for learning, then simply you can use the 300 credits. So it will pop up in the screen, and you can simply click on it. Then they will provide you the free version that is available. These are the all the free version that is available. So simply I will keep it as it is. Now I will go back, and I will open chat here, and I will type a message that is hello, just to check that is my chat model is working or not. So if it replies me, then yes, hello, how can I help you today? So it means it's working. Now what we are going to do is we are going to simply add a memory, so it can store our all the inputs and all. Now I will keep it as it is. Now again, I will going to add a tool, and simply I will choose Wikipedia. Uh, by default, you have to select it so it can store our all the so that the tools are simply used that our AI agent will get the insights for our prompt, or maybe whatever information we are looking for. They will simply go to that particular tools, and they will search for that particular information from those specific tools that we are going to attach here. So if we are looking for any person's information, they will simply go to Wikipedia, and they will provide us the information based on our prompt. Now again, I will add a tool called SERP AI. Uh, Now what you have to do, again you have to select a credential. Uh, Simply new credential. Here what you have to do, you have to go to here, you have to sign up, and simply you have to fill all these details, and they will send you a confirmation link in your Android mobile, sorry, in your mobile phone. So here then you have to, then they will provide you an API key, which you have to write it here, and make sure that you do not share your API key with anyone, otherwise they will misuse it and you have to pay for it. So make sure that like your other document and other maybe pins. You have to make sure that you keep it very safe and secure. Okay, here I added my credentials. Now I will simply save it. Now I will ask my AI that uh, give me a positive news news story from today and a fun fact about a random animal. Okay, let's see it giving me or not. If it's giving me, then okay, invalid API. Okay, okay. Here they are providing me information. It means it's working. Now here, as I have given some prompt here, and they had responded me completely. And now we can see that our SERP API has worked completely along with the all the previous nodes which we have created. Now what we are going to do, we are going to add another tool. Uh, you can manage and organize your workflow as you wish, as I said, uh, based on how you neat and clear want it. Now here again, as I have to view something without login, so for that we are going to use the open weather map. Here I will select my credential. For that I will create a new account here. One, I will create a new account here. Here I will paste it, and now I will save. Okay, saved successfully. Now what I will do, I will simply go again in the open weather, and here I will search for any city, let's say San Francisco. Simply I will copy this and paste it here in the city name. Okay. Yes, okay. Now I will execute the step, and here they are saying invalid API key. Let me solve this first. We will handle it later. Now, for now, we will delete this, and I will simply add on a schedule trigger. So we want that our this trigger or our workflow gives our us the notifications every morning 8 a.m. So here I will select 8 a.m. Now I will execute it. Node executed successfully. Now I will connect it. Okay. Now I will execute the workflow. Now I will open AI age. I will AI agent, and here uh, source for prompt I will give a define below, and here I will give prompt as per mine. Now here I will add a time span. Now I will execute. So here it's showing error, no problem. It would be give us, but for right now we will keep as it is. This is an intentional error. Now I will create this, and here I will add the session ID defined below. Here key, and I will give the name my test ID. Now I will go back and execute the workflow from main. Okay, here it works successfully. Here the open weather map is giving the error, but no problem. We will discuss about it later. Now I will add the plus and action in an app. Now I will select Gmail, and here I will. There are a lot of actions available. For now, I will select send the message. Now here we have to select credentials again. I will select my email account here. Now after adding Gmail account, I will simply add a subject here. Here I will type daily briefing, and here I will add reliable date. Now I will add option, sorry, message, and from here I will drag and drop the output. Now I will execute. Okay, first of all, I have to uh, add the email address. Then I will select the email address here. Let's see. Now simply the email address has run successfully. So now we simply go to the Gmail and we will see the output. And here we can see our output, but it's daily briefing with the time and the message that we have selected based for San Francisco City. Here you can see, but it's not looking very captivating. So in order to make it, we will going to format our newsletter style email. So let's do that. Now, in order to connect or convert our AI, in order to make it more beautiful, we are going to convert our markdown format to HTML. For that, we are going to disconnect this from here. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to add uh, and we have to click on data transformation. Now here under it we will select markdown. Now simply what I have to do is I have to convert markdown to HTML simply here, and simply I have to drag and drop the output in the markdown. Now what I will do, I will execute, and here it executed successfully. Now I will click back to canvas. I will simply keep it apart. Here I will click on the plus. I will now add an OpenAI. I will go here, AI, and I will here AI, and I will select OpenAI. Now here I will select message model. Here I will select my model, that is ChatGPT 4.0 mini. Yeah, okay. That's now I will here I will select the role. Okay. Now I will change it to system. Now I will here add the prompt. So here we will use the prompt to send the message, user message, to prime the element in order to hit the element so that it gets grip to solve the or to provide the prompts of the user. Now what we are going to do is going to add a prompt. Let's for example, default prompt is your helpful assistant. This is a system prompt that is by default will show. Now I will add um, another uh, tool, sorry, prompt, and here I will type it. Now I will add message here, prompt. I will add the data and I will execute it. Here it executed successfully. Now I will add my messenger model to Gmail. So let's do it. Yes. Now I will double click on the Gmail. Here would be my message, and I will drag and drop my content here. Now I will execute. Again, what I will do, I will open my Gmail. Now again, as we see, now let's see, here you can see a very captivating, eye-catching information in a very good manner. Let's I show you the previous one. This was the previous one. It was looking like this, and now the same thing is look like this. They provide you. the daily information, fun fact, what happened today, and also the trending positive news as we demanded. They give about they give information us about the San Francisco's temperature, humidity, and all. So here it means our this node works successfully. Now we are going to see the next part, and for that we are going to add our Google Sheet, and we are going to search for it. Simply here, go back to Canvas, simply add Google Sheet. Before that, I will going to execute the workflow one time. Okay, so all things are working in a proper manner. Here you can see our output. Here this was our input that we added by dragging and drop and other methods, and here it was a very good and clear and output. So this means all things had worked properly. Now we are going to, first of all, we will save it. Now we are going to move forward to our next step. Half of the things are done. Now we are going to add Google Sheet, and I will type Google Sheet tool. I will select credential, no credential, simply. Okay, go back. So this was the wrong way. We are not going to do this. Why? Because first thing I would like to tell you that just imagine that if a person is doing the exact two different tasks at the same time, so the chances of error are very high, because normal person can never do two tasks at the same time, that is simultaneously with the same effort, and get the expected result. So that's not going to happen. So that is the same thing that happened with the OpenAI model or other ChatGPT, AI model, that it also can't handle two things at the very same time. So for that, we are going to the branch the work in a different manner. So for that, uh, we are going to see a different pathway. For that, we will simply add AI. Again, I will select OpenAI. Again, I will select message model. Then simply again I will select a model. I hope you are getting understanding. And I'm really getting very slow, because you get understand and know how to uh, take and use each and every node and other things and other parameters properly. Now what I have to do? Simply I have to add a prompt. Before that, I will do role system. Simply I will add a prompt. Now again I will add a message. Here I will type daily briefing. And here I will add data from the markdown here. And here I will keep role user. Okay. Now we are going to do our next step. So just for that, you look at this whole thing. Now go back to Canvas, add a tool. Simply type sheet. Make sure here Google Sheet account is there. I have already connected. If you don't have account, you can simply log in with your email ID. Then here I will select the operation append row. Now I have selected my sheet 1 and sheet 1 from here also. Now I execute the step, and here you can see our node had run successfully. And here had added certain information about cricketers. So you can see first is at the second row. Here this is my sheet 1. At the second column I added Joe Root from country England, played matches 11, Warner from Australia, and like that I have uh, made the sheet of 8 cricketers. So same thing here you can see at row number 2, Joe Root from England played matches 11. It means our this workflow had also run successfully. Now I will simply click here. Okay, we'll go to. Okay, now it has run successfully. Now here again I can see one message. What see? Again I got the message. We are going to move forward, and now we are going to add another node. So for that we are going to select our another AI model, another tool. Here I will select again Google Shift tool, and now we are going to use it. Okay, here I have it got refreshed. Select. Okay, it works, it works, it works. Now here in between schedule trigger and AI agent, I will simply going to add another field, that is AI, OpenAI again, and message model. OpenAI message model. Again, you have to choose your model. 4.1 mini. Now here I will add my prompt. Now I will select the user to system. Now I will move back to canvas. I will add a tool again, Google Sheet tool. And here also the same thing. I will select my sheet. Now I will going to execute this part only. And now we can see its output. Yes, definitely. We got success in less than a second. So it means it has worked. Yeah, this is our another output. Okay. Now we will move ahead. I will click on AI agent. Here, simply here, I will type avoid the following topics, and I will simply, okay, for that I have to execute the previous notes as I had clear check. Now I will add content. Yes. Now I will run only AI agent part. Okay, let's see it's working or not. Yes, yes, yes. All parts are working completely. Yes, definitely. Yeah. See our output. It means it has worked very efficiently and accurately. Now we will move ahead. Now our whole workflow is ready. You can simply see. Let me just organize it. Our whole workflow has created successfully, and I try my best to explain it in a very simple way. Okay, again, I will execute all the parts before our final testing. Yes, and now what I will do, simply just save it. And now I will activate our workflow trigger. Click on got it. It has activated. Okay. So this was for today. Here we learn our basics, all the basics, and also we see some advanced nodes, some advanced error handling techniques, sub workflows, error workflows, and also now we have built our full AI agent workflow with the help of OpenAI. And here it's go now every day at 8 a.m. It is going to send me a mail about the information of any cities I have to gain. And also if I change my city, then also give me information at every day 8 a.m. about that particular university, that particular city, and the temperature, the fun fact about it, the news stories about it. So this was the demo of our workflow. Let's again, here it is. You can see. Yes, recently I was added the content about the cricketer. So here also you can see the content for it. The previous daily briefs have contained information related to cricket players from various countries. See, this was the thing, as I was never mentioned the cricket word, that these are the cricket players. Nothing. I just give them some 7 to 8 names and the country even in the short form. So also they get the idea that these are the cricket players and they represent their respective countries, and they just give me a content based on this, and also the match statistics also. So this was the overall workflow. I hope you liked the video. So, okay, guys, here we are going to end our series of n8n automation, including both beginner, advanced, and at the end, we build a full demo also. And it was very great way to start as a beginner friendly. And I hope that you will going to learn so many things. And I also try my best to explain. Even I'm also a novice and I'm still learning all the things, and here I also gaining a lot of knowledge about this. So as more information I will get about n8n, I'm going to share it with you. So till then, make sure you like the video, subscribe the channel, share with your friends and family members, and keep supporting us. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Thank you.